Alright, hopefully the background noise isn't too bad. I'm gonna check this on my YouTube real quick. Testing, testing. It's alright, not too bad. Alright, well. Let's go in real quick and change the audio settings. This is at 13.27, it's not that bad. Let's go to Camp Woodwind. Nah, let's do Edgefield. Alright. Definitely need to turn my cursor opacity up. Much better. Still needs a little bit more. That dot is not cutting it. There you go. I don't really like that. Finger's weird. Maybe we could change the field of view a little bit bigger. Let's see what the max is. That's kind of nice. Alright. This. What else? What do we need? Incense, cruci, motion sensor. Okay, so motion sensor, cruci. Grab you, and you. Take you and chuck it. And then get the salt out. Chuck the camera for now. Take 2 incenses. Sit back here. Is that an obake? I'm going to risk it all on this one. I do believe it's an obake. figured I might as well. It looks like he changed into the big chubby guy, so let's see. It might be. That's unlocked badge. Please play another contract. It wasn't Obake. Look at that. Look at that. That quick. Wasn't anything special. Alright. Let's do Edgefield again. Why not? This. Always bring the Kersey. What do we need? Blow out a firelight. Repel with incense while chasing. Escape the ghost during a hunt. Escaping during a hunt seems alright. Although we'll have to gauge its speed. I messed up that throw. Alright. Grab that. This. This, and this. Normally you can tell a lot about a ghost by the way it moves. It would be nice to have a crucie here so it doesn't spawn on top of me. We'll never know if it's a wraith or not until the first hunt. Okay, so it likes to spawn over there, got it. Is that my EMF? Of course it is. Should have thrown the incenses through the door. We'll figure it out. Hopefully I don't die for this. They'll occasionally spot you back here, but for the most part you're safe. Taking a while to hunt. Not Banshee, Phantom? Hmm. So she doesn't speed up at all. Which is weird. I'm gonna continue to sit here and watch her. She's really quiet upstairs. I might go with Myling, honestly. See if the bone's in here. Doesn't look like it. Alright. This one's hard. Blowing out a firelight gives it a shot at Onryo. Here's the ones that's not. Let's rule these out. Stepped in salt, it's not a wraith. Has not teleported on top of me nor followed me throughout the map. It's stayed localized towards the garage, so I don't think it's a banshee. Poltergeist probably would have made a lot more noises. Phantom, I'm thinking there's a possibility. Jinn, can't really test that one. I'm gonna rule that one out because it says firelight. Usually when it says firelight, it's one of the ghosts that really depend on it. Like you got Shade, Onryo, possibly the Myling because they interact with a lot of stuff early on. I heard no light switches, so I'm not gonna say Mare. Revenant, it would have walked slower because it didn't see me. Yuri, there was no door touches. Demon, its hunt frequency is very small, so I wouldn't say it hunts frequently. Hantu, I did not see breath, the power was off. Goryo's a throw off because we're not going to be able to use dots when we have the flashlights and everything electrical other than like the EMF not working, so I'm going to cross that one off, but it could very well be a Goryo because it is coming from the same place. We got the twins. I don't think there was a change in the footsteps. I really don't. It did change form, but I think it kept the same character model, so I don't think it's a mimic. The footsteps didn't range from fast or slow. It didn't change, so with the mimic it can change from one ghost to another, so I don't think it's a mimic. Phase would have been super fast out the gate. Same with the Dio. The Dio should have seen me if it was one. Moroi would have been zooming. Raiju would have sped up at the stairs. That's why I throw the EMF at the staircase, because when it gets to the staircase it should theoretically like come out zooming and then slow down when it's out of range. Obake, I haven't seen a character model change. It's just been its positioning. Like it started crawling, but it was in the same position. See, now it could be an Oni, because it was like fairly visible. This is when it gets really tough, because these mix-ups right here, without having evidence, it makes it very hard. Phantom is going to be extremely hard to get a hold of. Spirit is impossible to get a hold of. Yokai, I would have to use a spirit box, and that could kill me. Especially when it has like the 0 cooldown, the 0 second cooldown from, or grace period when it hunts. So I really don't want to test that theory. I'm assuming the yokai would also slam doors because that's how it kind of drops your sanity, just like the Yuri. So I'm going to cross that one off. Shade. It wasn't quiet. It could be a shade, but it wasn't like deadly quiet. Shades, granted my sanity meter was 0. Shades don't normally interact unless you're in the same room. Or no, they don't interact if you're in the same room. I was close to the same room and it interacted with something, so I don't know. I think Shade's out of the question. So we got Spirit, Phantom, Oni, Onryo, and Myling. I think it was very quiet upstairs, so personally I want to choose Myling. Although it does say blow out a firelight, so I'm really thinking Shade or Onryo. I don't think Phantom, I don't think Oni, but I'm going with Myling. I would go back for the bone, but I really don't feel like going throughout the whole house just to find a picture of the, or to get a picture of the bone and to pick it up. It's faster to just find the ghost and then leave it and come back. Let's see what it is. It was a shade, wasn't it? What's with these server errors? It was a shade. Would you look at that? Alright. So, instead of using that terrible video camera, let's change it to the good one. Because why not? If we're just gonna have base tier stuff, might as well have the best. Double up the firelight, we'll put on the new igniters. Photo camera would be nice. Oh, we got tier 3 salt, that's great. Sanity meds don't do anything. So we're gonna disable, re-enable, and there we go. So now this is all set up. Could do Camp Woodwind. That can get us killed. It can. So I'm gonna do Edgefield again, but we're doing Camp Woodwind after this one. Right. What do we need? Firelight. Parabolic. Parabolic and firelight. What a mix that could be. So it could either be a Banshee, maybe a Dio, I wouldn't even try using Parabolic because of that grace period. If you have that on, it knows exactly where you are when you start, so it'll seek out your hiding spot immediately. So I'm not even going to do the Parabolic unless I'm feeling very certain that it's going to spawn in a room. It does have the room changes turned up to the max, so there's a possibility it could still spawn on me. But I do think that it would be a hindrance. We could take the video camera. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the EMF. This is why I say what we're doing. We're taking it, we're chucking it right through here. And it drops right at the bottom of the stairs. So if it's a Raiju, it's going to come flying down the stairs, power its speed up by the EMF, and you'll see it. Well, you'll hear it more than likely. As soon as it comes around the door, or if it's in the garage, it'll still get hit by it if it comes around this side right here. And, yeah, like right here. Did it say motion sensor, or did I just pick this up for nothing? Yeah, it didn't say motion sensor. Cruci just in case. If it likes to spawn on me, we'll figure that out. I'm about to go in with just salt, that's terrible. Gonna make sure to chuck these incenses in the door so that if it comes down to me having to pick up one of them, I will be able to kind of save myself. Chuck you over there. We'll chuck you over there too. Firelight just in case, and Cruci. Alright, so now that I open this door, it's probably gonna hunt immediately. So, 2 of these, got the lighter. Alright, we're gonna place these right here. Got it. Sometimes they spawn immediately. I mean, there's been times where I couldn't even get down the hallway and they spawn on top of me. Whoa, is that a phantom? Nah, she's very visible. Ish. I don't know how I feel about that. She spawned upstairs. Well, that's a waste. She's gonna kill me. Nope. She almost got me there. I really don't know what this is. Okay. We're just not gonna be able to light a firelight. So she's spawning upstairs constantly. Alright, she's activating a phone upstairs. I don't know if you heard that. It vibrated. So I think she's in the bedroom. That's where her activity is coming from. No wonder she came down the stairs so fast. She's at the bedroom to the right as soon as you get to the top of the stairs. Here she comes. Sorry, what? Trying to get a glimpse of that character model, I couldn't get it. Man, I don't know. Maybe really leaning towards Phantom, although like that could have just been a crawling one. Okay, wait, think about this. It activated a phone. That was the only sound that I got. It's telling me to have a firelight blown out, which is a sign of Onryo or Shade. Possibly they have higher chances when they say blow out a firelight. So I'm leaning towards Onryo, but at the same rate. Once it got to the bottom of the stairs, it was kind of slower than one of the other ones, so it kind of reminds me of Twins. But we're going to rule out Twins because it's been 3 hunts and it came from the same room. I haven't heard any activity coming from any of the other rooms. It's always been that kid's bedroom, immediately to the right of the stairs at the top. So I'm going to rule out Twins only for the fact that I haven't heard it come from anywhere else in the house. So what we got is it's steps in salt. It got slowed down by the salt. We got photos of the salt. If it was a Banshee, it would have easily probably teleported on me. It would have been interacting with the window behind me probably. So that gets ruled out. A Jinn, again, Jinn's one of those hard ones because we have the breaker busted. So I'm gonna rule that one out, but it could be a Jinn. Pulte, maybe a Pulte. Amare, heard no light switches. Revenant, it was too fast. Oni, there was times where it was barely visible, so I'm not going to say that. However, it did say look for a ghost event. I'm going to say it's still not an Oni. Hantu, we didn't see breath. Yuri, no doors touched. Yokai, again, no doors touched. But we do have a spirit box response. No, we don't. That's just on the daily tasks. Okay. Myling, probably not. It sounded pretty easily heard, just like the others. Twins is out. We just talked about that one. Obake. Character models did not change. I think the positioning of it did. So that's out. Mimic. I'm gonna assume no. Thay, it was too slow. Dio, it was too slow. Although it did find where I was, it didn't slow down when it got to me. So, Moroi, just too fast for whatever ghost this is. Same with the Raiju, it would have been really fast at the stairs. Demon, the hunt frequency is pretty slow. I'm not gonna even opt for Demon because of that. So now we're stuck with Goryo, Shade, Onryo, Phantom, Spirit, and Poltergeist. So it was coming from the same room in 3 hunts. The chances that it changes rooms is very high. So I think I'm going to rule out Goryo. Well, no. That might be a reason to pick Goryo, to be honest. I'm going to rule out Shade on this one. Because it was coming from the same room the whole time. I don't think it's Poltergeist either, because I feel like it would have changed rooms. Spirit, I feel like it would have changed rooms as well. Onryo, the only reason I'm keeping this in here is because even if it didn't change rooms, it did activate an electrical device. Same with Polties though. It wasn't throwing enough for Polties. I don't believe so. There was a shoe that popped up at the front door. And it hit the hallway wall, so maybe? Phantom's just hard to pick because, to be honest, I'm not sure if it was just not showing its character model or if it was crawling, because I didn't get any glimpse of it in that last hunt. I'm going to rule out Phantom. So my only 2 that I have is Goryo and Onryo. So what we got here is saying blowing out a firelight, witness a ghost event, and detect with a parabolic. Neither of these have signature parabolics like the Banshee does. So honestly, I'm going to go Onryo only with the fact that it says firelight and that it was activating screens. It could be a Poltergeist, but I'm going to say Onryo because of the firelight challenge. Because I feel like a Polty would have just thrown the candles instead, or just threw stuff in the room instead of actually interacting with the firelight, more than likely. And this has a higher chance of Onryo, just because of this right here. So, I mean, it could be a Shade, but I don't know. Shades don't normally activate devices like that. I know it was only 1 time in 3 hunts, but Shades will more than likely start throwing things beforehand. So I'm gonna call it an Onryo, call it a day. Let's hope it is. We don't lose any money off of this, so we'll probably get like $10 or something if we miss what it is. It was a Poltergeist. Would you look at that? Ah, dang it. Hey, we got $15. Alright, time to go to Camp Woodwind. So Camp Woodwind has this glitch going on right now. But if you go to one of the tents, you back up into the corner of it. When you're walking, you can actually just be in God mode most of the time. They will still be able to kill you sometimes. So, gonna check this real quick. No orbs there. Let's look over here real quick. Not seeing any orbs. EMF reader? Escape during a hunt? We can get that one instantly in this one. Have a member of your team witness a ghost event. Okay, so we can theoretically get all of these extra challenges, just getting the ghost is what our issue is going to be. So we're going to do the salt. Cruise you down real quick. Grab this and this. We'll figure out where its area is, and then we will go from there. Grab one of those. Huh. Alright, no character model change, so I don't believe it's an Obake. Spawns over here though, so that's good. Alright, we got the EMF. It looks kind of slow. The EMF was a level 2, so that was just a touch interaction. Double touch. I don't know if you heard that. There's a double touch that was on a silverware, so could be a Pulte or a Yuri, if I had to guess. Not sure if I like this ghost. Oh? Is it a phantom? No, it's interacting with too many things. Way too many things. Do you hear that? That throw is actually not bad. Alright, so we got it on camera, it's not a phantom. Next time he hunts, I'm going to grab the EMF and bring it over here. Whoa! Yeah, he's got power behind what he throws. Take that back. I'm not going to throw the EMF here. I don't think it's a Banshee. I think it might be a Pulte. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to throw some blocks here. We'll see how far they get thrown. Pultes have a lot of extra power in what they throw, and there's a chance he might throw all three at once. In like a ghost hunt, ghost event. So we'll see. Okay, so we got two interactions going on in the same tent. A lot of interactions going on. I can't tell if it's a Yuri or a Pulte. I'm leaning towards Pulte because he's not touching tents. But the double touch on the silverware really kind of gets me. It could be a Yuri, but I'm leaning more towards Pulte because it's interacting with so many different things at one time. If it was a Yuri, it would kind of touch tents a lot, so... And it's not like super visible like an Oni is, so when it says ghost event to witness, I mean like Onis tend to do ghost events when you're close to them. So like with this one, yeah, we could get close to it. It could ghost event at some point. But I don't think that that is going to affect this, because Onis are a lot more visible. This one wasn't necessarily as visible, so I'm saying no to Oni. And we got the ghost photo. Alright, so got one bad photo. I kept the same character model. So we're gonna get rid of Obake. Mimic, it should have changed. Twins, it came from the same place every time. I mean, there was double interactions, sure, but it was in the same area of the map. I'm not gonna say twins for that reason. Shade, it spawned on top of us. Usually they can't hunt when you're in the same room. Jin, again, can't tell. Banshee did not spawn on top of us. We would have had interactions around us. Same with the Wraith. Could be a spirit. Mare, maybe. We would have heard the switches flip on the burners more than likely, so I'm going to say no to that. Did it hunt frequently? A little bit. I don't think it's a demon though. Revenant, absolutely not. It was decently speeding, but it was not super fast when it saw us. Hantu, we did not see breath. Yokai, maybe, but I'm gonna say no. Myling, honestly, I don't know about Myling. It might be a Myling. Dio, no, it did not slow down near us. They would have came out the gate flying. Moroi, same thing. Raiju, it would have been fast when it came out from the tents because I had that EMF detector there. I don't believe it sped up at all. Oni, we already ruled that out. Goryo, it did change its position a little bit, but could be a Goryo. There's not really any way for us to tell that though, because we don't have dots. I'm going to rule it out, because this one seems to be very touchy, so I'm going to rule that out. I'm going to rule Hanryo out for the same reason. Mylings tend to be very touchy at the start of their maps. I believe they start interacting when you're in the same room. Vocal and active ghost, rumored to be quiet when hunting their prey. I mean, that model is genuinely very quiet, but as far as when it says quiet, it's talking about its footsteps. That's why I'm kind of like confused, because I can't remember if it was loud or if it was like quiet. So they frequently make more paranormal sounds, which it was happening. That's why Myling's not ruled out yet. Alright, so Yuri. Have a stronger effect on people's sanity. We could not test that because our screens are broken. Smudging the Yuri's place of death will trap it temporarily, reducing how much it wanders. It did not wander at all. It moved a little bit from one place to another, but it was at the benches coming from the tents. That's still considered the quote-unquote same room. So I'm not gonna say it's a Yuri. Its double touches was kind of crazy, but I don't think it was a Yuri. Spirit, it was touching too much. So I'm stuck between Pulte and Myling. I'm gonna say Poltergeist. This could be wrong, but the only reason I'm saying this right now is because poltergeists can interact with multiple options at the same time. Mylings can too, but they're not as pronounced. I don't know if you saw it, but like it chucked a beanbag nearly across the map. So I'm gonna say poltergeist. The Myling's very capable of interacting with stuff before hunts, but during hunts it doesn't like absolutely yeet things across the map. And it also, I don't believe it interacts with multiple things so quickly that a poltergeist or a Yuri does, so I'm gonna go poltergeist. Hopefully we get it. We got a photo of the ghost, so either way, we got something. It was a Yuri. No. See, that's the sad part, because they can double touch even during hunts. But it's occasionally rare. It's so hard to tell between a Myling and a Yuri unless you can tell the footsteps. I should have known better. I really should have. I should have gotten that one. I'm gonna try Camp Woodwind again. Why not? Let's get all these incenses right in the door. While that opens. Nothing there. Yep. So cursed objects are turned off on this mode as well. We got a lot of stuff turned off or turned up high. Chuck one there. Chuck two here. And what do we got as far as objectives? Witness ghost event, photo of the ghost, blow out a firelight. Ooh. Okay. Sounds like an Oni. But that's just from the objectives. That doesn't really say much at all. Check for ghost orbs. I'm not seeing anything. Still not seeing anything. Nope, I see nothing. Could be in the bathroom, but I don't think we're going to get mimicked if we can see at least most of the map. If it's a fast ghost, I'll figure it out really quick. I love fast ghosts. They're probably my favorite ones to figure out because they're so easy. We'll take the EMF, turn it on, and we'll chuck it over the fence. If it spawns over here, that was not a ghost interaction, that was just One of the normal ones. Camera, crucifix is going down. We'll try to throw that as far as we can. Didn't go far, but stat. Drop you. Grab you. Grab another one of you. Throw one in there. Now we got two. And here we go. Alright, so we made it to the tent without an incense being burned. Ghost event. Could be an Oni. Judging by how quickly that ghost event happened, I really do think it's an Oni. If it's really visible, we'll figure it out here soon. We got an interaction at the campfire. Kind of slow. Oh, he's throwing stuff. Oh, there's a lot of interactions. Is it another Yuri? I screwed myself over. Where's that camera? Oh, I didn't take it with me. You're kidding. This has got to be an Oni. So, it was over at the campfire. Alright, it's not an Oni. I take that back. He's a normal ghost. He's flickering a little too hard. So we have a lot, and I mean a lot, of things going on here. So he's not a spirit. We already got an interaction over there. Booyah. Come on. Let's go, Ghosty. Ghosty, Ghosty. Come on. Ghosty? Ghosty? Got another interaction over there. So he's spawning from here, but he's ghost eventing there, there, and there. He blew out the lights. That is a sign of a mare. but not always. What are you? Honestly? Need to go get that camera. There's a skull over here. Disturbed salt. Ghosty, ghosty. Alright. I'm thinking mare or twins. The only reason why I say mare or twins is because we got it to step in salt, we got a photo of it. It was in 2 places at once. We just ended that hunt and it turned on the burner all the way across the map. So that's out. Pulty's out. Banshee, maybe, but it didn't teleport on top of me. It was moving around, it was roaming, so there's a possibility, but it didn't start a hunt next to me, and that's the reason why I'm not going to say Banshee. Jinn, probably not. Shade, no. Revenant, it was too fast. Mare, that's the one that I'm thinking it is. Yuri, it did interact with a lot of stuff, so Yuri, maybe, but I'll cross that one out. Oni, definitely not. Goryo, it's moving around too much. Twins, yeah, see, that's the other one. Mimic, nope. They, nope. 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 Maybe, but nope. Nope. Alright, so this is what we got. So Mare is one of the only ghosts that can flip a switch twice in succession. Like quick succession. I don't know if it's I don't know. Could be twins. I don't think I heard any difference in its footsteps though, so I'm going mare. We'll see what we got. We'll figure it out. It was a demon. Alright, okay. You know what? Fair. I will give you that one. I can't even complain. Could do Ridgeview. I've never done this in Ridgeview though, so I can't promise that I'll be amazing at this. But we'll try it. We'll do it for the plot. We could die. Not gonna lie. But Ridgeview's got that huge long sidewalk to walk in, and I have to like load everything into the house by myself. If this was with multiple people, I'd love to do it because it just startup's easier. But I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna do Edgefield just because it's faster to kind of like take everything to the front door. Yeah, this is just so much faster because you can just walk out of here and just chuck. Like this right here, just absolutely chuck stuff. Did they just say there was a cursed object? Do I not have that turned on, or turned off? Ghost event, photo of the ghost. Remember every team escaped during the hunt. Alright, so that's not gonna happen. I'll make sure to grab the igniter. I've actually went here without an igniter before, and that was the scariest thing I've ever done. Alright, chuck that right there. Yep, landed by the stairs. Chuck you right there. Just in case it tries to spawn on top of me. Camera, all the incenses. Grab this camera. We're gonna turn this on and chuck it in the hallway. It might turn itself off. No, that is not an orb. There's no orbs downstairs in the garage. Okay. So, can we see through the window? No. Okay. Grab this, 2 incenses. We'll chuck these 2 like so. Grab this. Actually, no. Drop this. Chuck you in. Chuck you in. That probably didn't go anywhere. Open the door. I feel like the longer you have this picture frame on top of this, the higher the chances you have it surviving. Don't ask me why. For some reason, I just survive better when I leave that picture frame there. Walk through the salt. Hello. That's a myling. No? What is that? I can tell you what it is. Two options. We have myling or... Alright, you know what? We'll figure it out. I'm not gonna make a guess. We'll figure it out. Guessing hasn't gotten us anywhere so far, so why not figure it out? So spawn in the room that's just to the left of this one, the dining room slash entryway to the basement. Not basement, garage. That's what we got so far. Okay. Hunting. From where? Wow, you're quiet. a Raiju. Hey, it's a Raiju. Believe he got hit by that EMF. You know what? Just to kind of prove this to myself, I'm gonna try to give it this test. If it runs full speed through this hallway, we'll know for sure. I forgot to pick up an incense. I'm stupid. I could die here if he spots me. 2 incenses normally keeps you away from getting like backtracked. Like if they get hit by the incense, they'll turn away and then come back. I just burnt this incense. Please don't die. He's so quiet on those stairs though. Yeah, no. 100% has to be a Raiju. The only reason why I feel like it's hard to hear it down in the basement is because it's passing by the EMF when I have it at the hallway or even at the front door. It's going down the stairs, but it's still within radius of that EMF, so it's charging its speed. My guess is it gets down in the basement so fast that you can't really even hear it go up and down the stairs. Those basement stairs are pretty quiet. So I'm going to make a guess that it's a Raiju. Because it is so consistently fast around the EMF, and it slows down. Like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna further prove this by grabbing this, and we're gonna go grab that EMF, and we're gonna shut it off. If it walks slow, it's a Raiju. Everything's turned off. He almost got me that last time. That was kind of scary. Oh, here he comes. Kira's footsteps are consistently slower now. That's a sign of a Raiju. Did you hear how those basement stairs are so quiet? We could hear him in the front room all the way up there, but we could not hear him on the basement stairs. The basement stairs are very hard to hear. So he had a major slowdown in speed, or she, whatever. So I'm gonna say it's a Raiju on the basis of once we turned that EMF off, it got a lot slower. And it wasn't like twins slower, because there's a faster twin and a slower twin. Like this was significantly slower, and it seemed like when I turned on the EMF and it was in the front of the house, it was fast around the staircase, whether it be basement or the upstairs stairs or around the living room. It was very fast, but when it got to me it was slow because it was on the other side of the house. By that time the Raiju's speed would have died down from the charged devices that it ran by, which was in our case the EMF. So I'm going to say a Raiju. And I think we proved it pretty thoroughly, so let's see if we can get this bank. I don't know why it keeps popping up like this. Please play another contract. Huh. Contract for what? 2600, there you go. Motion sensor. Oh, so when it says play another contract, that's because I finished the... Oh no. I have one of these left. And then I get the Ranger badge. That's why it's saying that. Alright. So I either have to do the Maple Lodge or Camp Woodwind one more time, and then I get the Ranger badge. Pretty cool. So we had a Raiju. I want to get a Dio so bad. You know, we could literally sit here all day one day and just try to farm for a Dio on the absolute hardest setting, playing Apocalypse, which says you need a 15 times multiplier, which is absolutely everything needs to be cranked to the hardest setting in the game. And the only thing that you need to do with the Dio is move. You can walk in, you can grab an incense. You want to have the salt put down at some spots. Like, you want to be able to have interactions. Well, actually, salt doesn't really count for the objectives. So, like, if it's a Dio, walk with a Cruci. Obviously, you don't want it spawning like around you. Walk with the Cruci. Have your camera on your secondary, and you want to have your igniter and one incense. So it's pretty solid that way. They can't spawn on you. When they do spawn, they'll walk slow, and so you could take a photo of them when they're walking slow. You know it's a Dio, it's not going to catch you as long as you can walk backwards in the asylum. I know it's kind of hard to avoid objects, but if you confirm that it's a Dio by the way it runs up to you and it zooms towards you. If it starts coming at a crawl pace, you know, move just as fast as you're allowed. It should be at like 75 instead of 100 speed for the player. It shouldn't be able to catch up to you as long as you keep moving and get your photo and complete your optional objectives. If it tells you to get parabolics, you know, do that. If it says parabolics, definitely don't try to like be in the ghost room when you're trying to do it. The higher level the parabolic, the better, because you can get more range. The farther you are from its ghost room, the higher the chances he won't spawn on top of you. So do that from a distance. And EMF, you know, sit there at the Cruci. If he pops up, then he pops up. You'll be able to have the Cruci there to protect you. He'll run up to you at high speed, and like I said again, he's going to slow down. So Dio is really the main thing you can do to get this Apocalypse challenge done. And so if you look at this Apocalypse challenge tells you that, see, it says 10 times, right? 10 times or higher. So you get not only 6 times or higher, 10 times or higher, you also get 15 times or higher, all in the same run. If you can get one Dio with max settings, you get all 3 Apocalypse challenges done. 50 in Sunny Meadows is absolutely ridiculous. Theoretically, you could turn the ghost speeds down and get those 50. You could turn your character speed up, turn the ghost speeds down, because it does not tell you. Yeah, you can make this very easy on yourself. You can make the ghost rooms like unable to change and stuff like that. You can make this really easy. Sanity drain, like none. You can figure out the ghost that way on customs. That should still count, I think. Now the lighthouse, you could do the same thing where you change the customs on it. However, for me, I don't know if I'm ever going to get this lighthouse one because it keeps crashing on PS5. I don't know why it does, but it does. But yeah, Dio, 100% deal. I might dedicate a day to trying to get one deal on here. You know, the second you get a deal, it's game over. You got all three of these. As long as you bring the equipment, you can keep coming back after every hunt. I mean, as long as you're staying away out of the ghost room, you'll be fine. Just stay somewhere in the hall, figure out where he's at. You could get away with something like a firelight candle. That'd be so easy. Put it in the hallway, have it blow it out. You got the firelight. Motion sensor, put it in the hallway, away from the ghost room. So when he chases you out of the ghost room, you can run past the motion sensor, and then he can walk past it while he's chasing you during the hunt. Triggers the motion sensor, and then you got that. Escaping during a hunt, it's a Dio. If you're looping it around or you're just walking it down the hall, when he despawns, you get that challenge too. So like, you can get anything really. I mean, you can incense him, so you get the incense negation for stopping the ghost with an incense while he's hunting you. Like, you can do a lot of stuff with that. Dio is the cheat code to the hard ones to get the challenges. It's really hard to do other ones. If you get stuck with the Morroys, help your soul. God help your soul. A Thay, I mean, you might be able to escape a Thay. You just really have to stay away from that ghost room. Yeah, that ghost room would eat you alive. If it was a Morroy or Thay, or even Revenant. But Revenants you could get away with if you hide. So, that's not bad. But, yeah. If it's a Banshee, you're screwed. If it's a Banshee or Wraith, you're absolutely screwed. Spawning on top of you and everything. Spirit's just going to be hard to figure out. Goryo would be impossible to figure out. You won't be able to do evidences if you're playing on a 15 times multiplier, so Goryo, if it's a Goryo, you're never going to get it. Onryo, there's a possibility if you could use the firelight method. Shade, same thing. You could test a room by being in the ghost room. If he doesn't hunt for a while and you're standing in the ghost room, there's no activity. They're pretty shy ghosts. Twins, you'll probably never figure out twins. Unless the ghost room changes from hunt to hunt to like completely different sides of the map. I mean, like, personally, what I like to do is take a parabolic in there, listen to its footsteps, so I can identify the ghost. This is the fastest method. If you take a parabolic, you walk in, and the higher the parabolic, the better. At the start of a hunt, stay at the front door, hold the parabolic down. If it's really fast footsteps, risk it, because then it's a chance of a Dio. If it's not really fast footsteps that you're hearing from that range, don't risk it, back out, and come back. You can quick reset that way. Usually when you walk in, you can't even get to like the back door of the first room without having a hunt, because you're walking at 75 speed instead of 100 and you can't sprint. So the very first thing you do is identify the ghost. Just take the parabolic in there. You know, if it's a Dio, get through the first hunt, walk out the door, grab your equipment, and set up for a Dio. If it's anything else, like a Moroi, it's probably going to kill you when you have the parabolic, and that's fine. And same with the Thay. If you can survive the Thay, you might be okay, because the more it hunts, the worse it deteriorates. So you could get away with a Thay over time if you can escape it the first couple times. I just find it really hard to escape an early Thay. Dio is definitely the way to go. So parabolic right out the gate. That's the best game plan. It'll help you rinse and repeat faster. It'll help you make sure that you get that Dio instead of having to bring everything in every round hoping that it's a Dio. setting up and everything just to get killed by something that's not a DO, and you lose it. So there's a good rinse and repeat method for you that I came up with by myself. I don't know if other people do it, but that would be the way to go. I mean, DOs are hard to get in general because they're one of the easiest ghosts, but once you get one, that's all you need for all 3 badges. I mean, I'd take it. I'm going to dedicate a day to this. I will. I just don't know what day it's going to be. I could probably do that this week. I might dedicate like 4 or 5 hours to it. Nah, I'm kidding. I'll probably do like 3 separate broadcasts, maybe about 2 hours each, spanning from Friday to Sunday. That sounds about right. Yeah, I'll probably do Friday to Sunday, just doing 2 hours a day. In 6 hours, I think that rinse and repeat method with the parabolic will definitely get us to figure out if it's a deal quick enough, and we'll be able to rinse and repeat so many times that at some point in 6 hours of doing it, we will have a deal on the asylum with a 15 times multiplier, and then we'll plan accordingly. We'll carry in the cruci, we'll take the incense, we'll take the camera, we'll get the photo, we'll get all optional objectives, whatever it's asking us to do. We'll find the ghost room and everything like that. We'll carry the cruci into the ghost room so that we don't get jumped by the DO. Yeah. I know it's a whole mess, but it's worth it. Gives you a ton of XP. Although it's very time consuming. What's the only thing that's actually lowering it? Let me see this for a second. Alright, so that turns it to 0 rewards. I was about to say, if you could turn that on. Hunt duration, you could turn that to really low. Or low. Wow. Yeah, you could turn that to low. What does a grace period do? 5 seconds for a grace period? Wow. That's a lot of distance you could cover in that time. So when you're trying to farm stuff, definitely turn the grace period up. Turn the hunt duration down. Kills extend hunts, turn that off. Activity level, obviously you want that activity high. Maybe normal. You can keep it at medium because it's easier to tell. If you crank it up on high, you're going to have to get used to hearing a lot of interactions. Changing the ghost room. None. You could literally make it sit in the ghost room and not go anywhere. Unless it's a banshee or a wraith where it teleports on you. They like to roam. However, low chances of roaming does that too. Ghost speed at 150. That's a given. You could turn that down to what? 50. You could turn that down to 50. Setup time 0. You walk in, it starts hunting. You could theoretically turn that to about 3.25 no, 3.33 repeating. The multiplier is only a 1.0, but that setup time is huge. You could theoretically run. Wait a minute, you could turn it on friendly ghost to where it doesn't hunt, get no rewards from it, but you could do it 50 times and still get the medal. Because it doesn't have a multiplier requirement. You could theoretically just run it 50 times and figure out the ghost 50 times, then get the badge, and then just go back to playing the game normally. Now that's no fun, but friendly ghost means it can't hunt. That is a guaranteed win every time. As long as you know what you're looking for, and as long as you make things correct, don't get thrown off by the mimic. Now, how do I bump this up? Snow, windy, heavy rain. Heavy rain's the highest. Huh. Ah, there's the 15 times multiplier. I'm gonna hit apply on that. Now it's probably saved here. Next time I play this, I'm going to be doing this. Next time I play Phas, we're getting this gold. And the bronze and the silver, we're getting it. It's gonna be a deal. We will rinse and repeat until we get a deal. We're getting that badge. And we'll get the ranger badge too. We'll probably do the ranger badge first and then just rinse and repeat a bunch of these. Yeah, no, we got this. Alright, well, we didn't get too many correct ghosts tonight, but we got stuff that we're going to be doing on Friday, so that's always great. Alright, well, I think I'm hopping off this. I might change it to another game. I think I'm changing to another game, so if you're currently on the stream, I don't know if anybody's, no one's actually watching this stream. If you do end up watching this stream, thank you, and I hope you learned something. There's a lot of things to learn about the ghosts here. There's a lot of methods to get some of these different things to show off. You know, you can show off to your friends, hey, I got this. Well, you did it easy mode. There's ways to cheese it. It takes some time, but it is easier to do it that way instead of getting chased around by a Moroi. So, yeah, I hope that you enjoyed the information shared, and share it to your friends, because this is something that, you know, everybody wants to do. They don't know how, or they think it's impossible. It's not impossible. There are ways to do it, and you just got to keep persevering. Go in, rinse, repeat. You got this. Alright, I love you guys. Take care.